Hello everyone and welcome to Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida, for the site of this SFL Week 1 matchup between the Houston Hyenas and the Jacksonville Kings. I'm Jack Brown, and alongside me this afternoon is Andy Hamilton. Andy, what are your keys for today's matchup between the Hyenas and the Kings?
Thanks, Jack. Two storied franchises here in the Simulation Football League set to do battle again on SFL Sunday. Two veteran quarterbacks, E.T. King playing for Houston. Last time he played for anyone other than the team in Chicago was for this Jacksonville Kings team, so it should be interesting to see him against them. But the key for me, Jack, is Warren Murray in the backfield for Houston. Can he get going against these rookie linebackers of Jacksonville? If he can, this could be a very tight game.
Yeah, Warren Murray, low-key, had one of the best rushing seasons last season in all the SFL, second most in rushing yards, just behind Reggie Streeter. It's going to be an interesting game, Andy, no matter what.
Yeah, plenty of rookies in this one, Jack. Interesting to see how they mix with some of these veterans. Week 1 action is always the toughest for play callers to try and figure out what is going on. We've seen that across the league as action has been tight yesterday, and we're looking forward to tighter games today.
And this game is underway from here in Jacksonville as the kick is away, fielded at around the 10 by Jacksonville, taken up to the 28, and Houston showing they've come to play against their rivals.
Man, Raymond White, the defensive end there, Jack, must have been waiting all offseason for that hit there on the kickoff. What a pop!
Oh, absolutely, Andy. But now coming out onto the field, Christian Christensen. Last season was his second best in his career, best since season 10. And he's going to come out with one man in the backfield, two wide to the top of your screen here. Short drop by CC, throws it over the middle, and that's an easy pitch and catch. Taken up to the 47-yard line, catch made by Grayson Wills.
Yeah, interesting that they're going to start there. Houston, two rookie cornerbacks drafted in the first and second round. A free agent, free safety they're bringing in. This secondary for Houston is the question mark. They attack it right off the bat.
Cal Cash's man on the tackle that last play. Now it's going to be 1st and 10 once more for the Kings. Going to be a handoff right up the middle. Going to go for about 7 yards. Jared Willis getting a nice run.
Yeah, a little bit off guard there for this Houston defense. Their linebacking core is pretty good. Two veterans there in Perez and Gulch. You'd imagine that they will key on Jared Willis all game, but a good pickup there for the E-back.
Once again, it's split back on the 2nd and 3 play. Going to be the same handoff to Jared Willis, and Willis is going to barrel down the field, crosses the 40, gets to the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for the King.
Yeah, nice job. They're following the fullback there, Jack. Iggy Swift, the addition coming over from London, 6'1", 248. And Jared Willis has to love that signing as they move the chains.
Yeah, this Jacksonville offense is working like a machine this drive. Short drop from CC, thrown over to the sideline. They're going to rule that incomplete. Pass intended for Ken Gossett.
Gossett working over there on Law, the rookie out of Birmingham. 10th pick in the second round, 34th overall. They're going to test these cornerbacks all day with the veteran in Christensen. We'll see if they can stand up to this high-powered Jacksonville offense. So far, a good drive from the Kings.
2nd and 10. 3 wide, one in the backfield. Short drop from CC.
Ooh.
Throws over the middle. Now it's going to be deflected. Ball's on the ground, 3rd and 10. Pass intended once more for Ken Gossett.
Pressure was coming up the middle. Christensen had to unload, tries to fire it underneath. Gulch is there to make the deflection. Nice play by the linebacker to make it third and long here. Let's see if they can get off the field. This is a big play for this Houston defense early in this game.
And Jacksonville coming out in the shotgun, empty backfield. It's always entertaining when they come out looking like this. CC examines the field, goes over the middle, deep, and it's going to be picked off by the Hyenas. Now taking up to their own 27-yard line, and that is one way to silence the crowd here in Duval.
Yeah, Rauger Law just steps right in front of this one. His first SFL interception, reads the post route well, jumps in front, and Christensen pays the price on a big third down. Now, Jack, that's pretty much like a punt there, so it's not anything terrible for Jacksonville, but for the young man Law, that's the biggest play of his young career so far.
And now taking his first snap in a Hyenas uniform is going to be E.T. King playing in the stadium where he got his career started. Throws over down near the sideline, and that's going to be a pickup of 9. Nice throw, nice catch for E.T. King and Kyle Finnemore.
Finnemore, first grab in the professional leagues, 3rd round pick, 10th overall out of Albuquerque. 6'3", 217, really mirrors the other receivers here in Houston well. All of them are 6'3". If you said that Houston's front office had a type at wide receiver, it would be 6'3".
And the first time for Warren Murray, his first handoff of the season, he gets them up to the 40. 1st and 10. Warren Murray, as I mentioned earlier, had a relatively low-key, one of the best seasons in the SFL last year, finishing 2nd in rushing yard.
Yeah, and they're going to need him today, really the heart and soul of this Houston team, the constant, and they're going to need him to be consistent today.
E.T. King coming out in the shotgun. 1st and 10, snap is low. Gonna throw it deep towards the sideline. Went for the 50-50 ball, but that was not gonna work out.
Yeah, it was a gun ace trips look for Houston. They were running a corner route for Sim out of the slot, and unfortunately, Jacksonville was prepared for it, had 2 defenders over there in coverage. Not necessarily the safest throw, but King is going to take some of those shots in this game. He's a veteran. He knows where he wants to put the ball. The question just is if Houston can bring it down.
2nd and 10 is going to be a handoff to Murray, and Murray gets blown up in the backfield. 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, that play was dead before it got going. Clay Jones, the veteran in this linebacking core, reading the run play well and making the play, and now they face 3rd and long themselves.
Going to be a low snap shotgun. Goes over the middle, and that one's going to also be picked off by Jacksonville. 2 drives, 2 turnovers for these 2 teams.
Alex Bond, his first interception of the year right there off the tip play. The play at front there is even more incredible than the interception. Rain Rowe gets one hand on it, almost made the pick himself. It pops up in the air, and Bond takes it away. 2 picks on the opening drives for these teams, and Houston gives the ball right back to Jacksonville, Jack. Very exciting stuff.
And Jacksonville given excellent field position starting right at about the 40, 1st and 10. Handoff to Jared Willis, and Willis, the E-back, is going to power through for about 3 yards.
Yeah, 3-yard gain brought down by Gulch again. He's doing a really good job up the middle there. Highly touted at linebacker. Houston has relied on him as the play caller and the guy on this defense to try and get stuff going. So he's got to keep Willis in line today.
2nd and 7. CeCe going to throw over the middle. Relatively short throw. Going to fall to the ground. Incomplete. Pass intended for Mike St. Green.
Interesting there, Jack. I don't know if it was. It might have been intended for the tight end that was coming off the line there, the backup tight end. Interesting play. I'd have to see it again to be sure. Either way, 3rd and 7 here for this Houston defense. Their front 4 has been supplying pressure. Let's see if they can bring it again here on a passing down.
3 wide to the top of your screen, 1 wide to the bottom. Empty backfield look for the Kings. CeCe will look around, throws it deep over the middle, and he was able to thread the needle. Gets the first down and a few more yards on top of that. Ken Goss getting his first catch of the day.
Gossett just runs a nice little post route here. Protection is solid for long enough for Christensen to fire into some traffic. Again, working on Law. They've fired at him all day. He made him pay once, but that time able to squeeze it in between him and A.J. Barnes, the free agent acquisition. And the drive moves down to the 21, now in scoring range.
Hand off to Willis. Willis just goes right up the middle, and he's going to get a nice pickup of 4 yards down to Houston's 17-yard line.
4-yard pickup. He's been running pretty strong today, Jack. 3 carries, 20 yards. That's nearly 6 yards per carry for him so far.
And the longest one of the day for him so far has been 10 yards. 2nd and 6. Split back 2 wide to the bottom. Look for Jacksonville. Short drop for CC. Pump fakes, goes over the middle, and he's got his man, but it's going to be fumbled. And who are they going to give it to? It's going to be Houston at their own 3-yard line. 3 drives, 3 turnovers.
Wow, that was Jack Wall there who made the catch, I believe. Oh, yeah, that's a football move there. Nice job by Law to knock it out. This guy looks like a star already, Jack. 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. I mean, look, it's only, 7 minutes in, but we're not handing out game balls. But if we were, he would be the one so far, right?
I couldn't agree with you more, Andy. He has been an absolute stud through the first half of this first quarter. They're going to hand it off to Warren Murray. Warren Murray, the perfect run you would need for that situation, gets them up to the 12.
Yeah, Dragon defenders, 6.9 yards per carry last season for Warren Murray. They need more of that effort. Got in the end zone 13 times. They're going to need him to get in the end zone, not only today, but throughout the season. He really is their workhorse, Jack.
They're going to come out on the heavy set. 2nd and 1 should be a handoff to Murray. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to swing him to the outside. He's going to pick up the first down. Houston was backed up basically at their own goal line because of the fumble recovery, and they've been able to get back into good field position.
Yeah, picks it up. Not by much, though, but on 3rd and inches, hey, if you get a foot, that'll work. Houston is not going to be picky about how they get their first downs. They're controlling the clock right now, which I think is another piece that the Hyenas have to do if they want to win today's game on the road.
As E.T. King's going to drop back, throws it over the middle, and he's going to be able to pick up about 9 yards. Clay Jones currently having 3 tackles on the day as the little stat bud popped up.
A nice catch there by Randy Pierce, another rookie getting involved. And we talked about it, Jack. I mean, that's going to be the question mark for Houston, and not only Houston, but a couple teams around the league, is how do the veterans mix with these rookies who are getting their first look at SFL action? So far, Houston's rookies have looked great.
Couldn't agree with you more, as that was going to be a handoff to Murray that's going to lose a yard. Back to the conversation of this kind of new look Houston team. Even a lot of the veterans they have here, they've come in from other teams. They haven't played in a while. E.T. King coming from Chicago, or Greg Corky. He hasn't played since season 9, last playing with the San Antonio Vaqueros. 3rd and 2. Snaps where it needs to be for E.T. King. Throws
nice
deep
ball
towards the sideline. Goes up and grabs it. DR Sim with his first reception of the year.
Well, and that's what you get out of a veteran quarterback. Look where this ball is placed. Outside, only DR Sim can make that catch. E.T. King makes that throw. I don't know if a rookie does, Jack. And that's the difference for some of these SFL teams between winning and losing, is ball placement, ball security. E.T. King with a beautiful throw there to move the chains.
Now it sets it up for 1st and 10. Handoff. Gonna just get right back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more gained. Hale on the tackle.
Now this front 4 for Jacksonville is a treacherous one, Jack. Mike All, Tyquan Hale, A.G. Pennypacker, Hunter Norwood. If you can get past them, those fresh young linebackers are a little bit more questionable for Murray.
Thrown to the flat to Murray, and Murray is going to pick up about a yard on the reception. Going to set up 3rd and 9 on the 40.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they continue to stick with Murray with some of these short yard plays, because he's always dangerous to break one off for 60, 50, But sometimes there are going to be drives where he does what he just did, where two times he touches the ball and only gets a yard.
3rd and 9, empty backfield for the Hyenas. E.T. King all day to throw, goes deep, and that one's going to be dropped. 4th and 9, pass defended by Bernard Gooden.
I think that was Josh Fed on the outside they were trying to hit. I just got a small glance at the numbers. Another decently placed football. I think that one just fell through the hands of the receivers. The drive stalls out here at the 40. These two teams going back and forth. Jack, I talked to Damon Simeon last night about, this matchup. He said that him and Frank have always had kind of a friendly rivalry. They're not the closest of two owners necessarily, but they are good friends, and they have a strong mutual respect for one another. I could just feel how honest he was about, Jacksonville and how tough these rivalry games have been. And we're seeing it early here in this one, 0-0, almost all the way through the first.
Yeah, these two teams know exactly what the other is bringing, and it's putting on a great show here in Jacksonville. CC coming out from under center, throwing over the middle, and that's going to be caught. Once again, threading the needle is Christian Christensen, and that pass was caught by Mike St. Green.
Yeah, they were lucky. St. Green almost broke this one. Let's take a look at the replay right here. Nice job by Christensen. Floats it right over the head. But look at that. He is like maybe an inch or two away from breaking that off for a touchdown. St. Green, only 30 catches last year. They're getting him involved early. But, Jack, of those 30 catches, 4 of them last year were for touchdowns. That is called efficiency. I look for him to have a big year this year.
Oh, and they're going to hand out to Jared Willis, who just blows a man up, and he is away.
Goodbye.
He is gone. Touchdown, Jacksonville King.
Oh, boy, talk about bowling someone over. Look out. Get out of the way, rookie. Welcome to the SFL. I am going for 6. Jared Willis burns this defense with a combination of speed and power and finds his first touchdown of the year. He had 14 last season, and he's on the board this year to break this 0-0 tie.
Just a fantastic run by Jared Willis. They always call him the E-back. He had a little bit of the fullback strength there, but he also had the speed of a halfback. Exactly what you want out of a guy like him. Now is CC out to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. As you can see, a little score update from the nation's capital. London is up 14-0 on the DC Dragons, returning back to the SFL.
Yeah, Dragons taking a hit there, down 14-0, but man, I cannot get over that hit from Jared Willis. I mean, that reminded me, of some of the runs we saw Reggie Streeter make last season. Jack, I mean, you and I talked before the game about how really no one was catching Reggie Streeter last year and kind of slowing him down, and that was a shades of Reggie run right there from Jared Willis to break this thing open.
Yeah, he's always been the sort of guy who can really put together those big plays, and once again showing that that's what he can do, as now E.T. King going to have to lead the Hyenas out down by 7, hoping to equal it up on this drive.
Yeah, and the other thing you get with a veteran quarterback is he knows the lead is 7, not 21, right? Sometimes rookies might look at 0-7 and think, oh, I got to score right now. No, you don't. You have time.
And they're going to throw it over the middle. E.T. King showing the patience needed to get that throw done, not forcing it. Leroy Brown with his first reception on the air.
Yeah, Leroy Brown was a big part of this Houston offense last season. 70 catches, led the team, over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Good to see him getting involved here with E.T. King. They need to continue to find him.
Yeah, one of the two veteran corners coming back from last season alongside DR Sim. E.T. King now going under center, split back. Short drop, going to throw it down to the sideline, able to get the man inbounds. Going to make it now 2nd and 5, catch made by Kyle Finnemore.
Finnemore, the rookie, I like his style. So far in today's game, has just kind of found the yards that he needs, almost seems to identify where to get open. That's very quarterback friendly, is just someone who sits down, whether it's in a zone or against man, beats this guy, gets open and gets some yardage, whether it's 5 yards or 8.
Hand it off once again to Warren Murray, and Murray gets blown up in the backfield, currently averaging only about 1.6 yards per carry. Hunter Norwood blowing that play up.
Yeah, Keenan Samuels was also in there. Now that tackle makes him leading the Kings in tackles, so says our stats team. The rookie Samuels making a difference.
Yeah, big shout out to our stats team, Alan Amatis and Johnny Bravo, making us look smarter than we actually are. Third and 6, thrown towards the sideline. If he had just gotten about an extra little step or two, he would have gotten the first down. Leroy Brown. Great catch, just not enough.
Yeah, Rain Rowe right there made possibly the play of the drive there to make the tackle short. The catch was good. He was in space, had enough time to turn upfield. Rain Rowe just makes a great tackle to keep him short of the line to gain, and that, Jack, is the difference between sometimes winning and losing a game is one stop right there, which gives you the ball back. It's a huge play from Rowe.
Huge play from them. And with that punt return, that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter here in Jacksonville. The Kings are up 7-0 over their longtime rival, the Hyenas. But don't go anywhere, folks. These two teams are out for each other. Week 1 on the SFL network on Twitch continues. First and 10, now ball on their own 25. Short, going to be a short handoff to Willis once again, and Willis sheds a man, and he is in green pastures once again. Back-to-back runs. He is gone. Touchdown, Jacksonville Kings.
Well, I tell you what, you get bowled over. Hey, Mr. Referee, how about you get bowled over? I'm going for another touchdown. Jared Willis says he has no regard for human life, be it defender or referee. He bowls over everyone. I mean, look at this. Poor guy, get out of the way, 43. Oh, man, and no one's going to catch him once he's in the open field. That's so unfortunate for Houston's defense, but you got to hold him down. I mean, Jared Willis is just firing off to the moon so far in this game, up to 16 yards per carry on only 5 totes, 2 of them finding pay dirt.
Back-to-back, no less, touchdown runs for Jared Willis. You know, Andy, once every season or so, there's always that one running back that changes the SFL as we know it. Jared Willis is looking to become that running back for this season as the extra point is through, 14-0 to the Kings.
Yeah, it's not something that we kind of expected coming into this game. You know, Houston has veterans in the front 7, you know, some veteran defensive linemen, some veteran linebackers. The secondary really was the biggest question mark that we had circled for Houston. But Jacksonville comes out and says, you know, hey, we're going to run the football whether you like it or not, try and stop it. And so far today, they have not stopped Willis often.
Yeah, so far, it's almost been kind of the opposite issue for Houston. Their secondary's been fine, but it's been more so that front 7 that seemed to be problematic so far. So now E.T. King and lead out the team down 14-0. Again, not really much of a time to really worry or panic, but, you know, it does have to feel like there is a little bit of a tightening on that Houston sideline.
Yeah, I think 3 scores is really when you start to worry. You know, at 14-0, it's a long game. You know, you're just at the start of the second. Still play your football.
Going to be a throw over the middle, and E.T. King hit as he threw. Able to find Leroy Brown over the middle. It's not really a fancy throw, but that's a throw that only really a veteran can make.
Yeah, 7-yard pickup there on first down. I mean, that's great. That keeps you on pace to move the chains consistently, and it gives you the opportunity to keep this drive alive on second and third down. So, you know, that's what you get with a veteran. Again, they're not going to panic.
Handoff to Murray, and Murray charging through. They're going to say he didn't quite make it there. 3rd and inches for the Hyenas.
Yeah, interesting there. I thought he was really close to the line. It almost might be worth a second look. I don't know if I would challenge it, especially with Murray here on 3rd and inches. You got to imagine you can pick up a couple inches, but it was close.
And this is going to be a free play. They're going to get the first down no matter what. As Warren Murray spins around probably 2 or 3 defenders before getting tackled by Hunter Norwood. But it's going to be a free play. They're going to get 5 yards.
Yeah, you can't
That's exactly
jump.
what the call's going to be.
Yeah, you can't jump in that situation, Jack. Really, it's tough because you're trying to defend an inch, so you want to fire off the ball and make a play. But when you really think about it, look, you have more of a chance to stop him, by getting a late start than you do if you jump off sides, because that guarantees them a first down, whether he, fumbles the ball in the backfield or, runs for 70 yards. Either way, they have the first down automatically when you jump.
So 1st and 10 for the Hyenas. Throws over the middle, and that one was a risky throw. Lucky for them, that ball fell to the ground. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Bernard Gooden is a veteran. You can't really test him on plays like that. Otherwise, eventually he's going to make you pay. E.T. King knows that, and he's got to, kind of reel that in, give his receivers a little bit better of a chance here.
Interesting thing about E.T. King, he's actually looking for his first win against the Jacksonville Kings in his career. He's going to hand off to Warren Murray. Murray gets stuck up behind his offensive lineman, and he's only going to gain about 2 yards off forward progress.
Yeah, Murray got spun around there. I'm not exactly sure, whether he lost kind of his wherewithal of where he was on the field, or if he thought he could wait a second and break it out. But it's not a great play, whatever, and it sets him up for 3rd and 8.
You can never really wait a second when you're in that situation.
Oh man!
But E.T. King can certainly wait a second. All day to throw, chucks it deep, but not going to work out in the long run. Pass deflected by Michael Sprouse.
Yeah, I don't know what E.T. King thought he was doing. He had a little bit of time to set his feet and really throw a good ball. He decided to throw it on the run, and it was a little bit of a wobbler, and it's going to have to force him to punt here, down by 14.
Yeah, a catch like that is doable if the ball's thrown well. The ball was just frankly not thrown that well on the play.
Yeah, true.
Brian Adams going to once again punt the ball.
St. Green is really dangerous. Sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All I was going to say was St. Green is really dangerous in the return game. I really think, Jack, he's going to have a breakout season this year. He was really good last year, really solid for Jacksonville, but I think this year is kind of the year that they get him moving. He's dangerous in the return game. I mean, mark my words, I think he's going to return a couple for touchdowns this year.
I mean, he's already having a breakout year of sorts, being the co-host of the SFL's halftime show and post-game show. So he's already having a breakout season of sorts as CeCe throws it down the field. Going to be dropped. Mike St. Green, the intended target. And once again, whenever you bring up his name, he always seems to be making an impact.
Like I was just saying, Jack, Mike St. Green, not having a good year, going to be terrible. No, I'm just kidding. It's a really good route. The ball's thrown well, just dropped. And that'll happen sometimes with receivers who are young. I mean, St. Green playing, I think, in his 2nd year. These things happen. There's some learning curve that comes along with the SFL.
Yeah. Rolger Law on the pass deflection. He's been having a fantastic game throughout this first quarter and a half or so, and they're going to hand off to Jared Willis once again. Jared Willis, knowing him, that probably could have also gone for a touchdown. Houston able to keep it under control, limits it to only a gain of about 8 yards. Willis
has looked electric. I mean, every time he touches the ball, I kind of hold my breath a little bit right now. Jack, we're very early in this game, so for him to be at 150 yards on the ground is certainly something. I would imagine that's going to improve.
Short drop from CeCe goes to the sideline. Going to be caught inbounds. First down, caught by Ken Gossett. Though that quarterback receiver combo, Christensen Gossett, that's been around for for many seasons in the SFL, and it still is working as fine as ever to this day.
Yeah, Kenny G, the music man, finds the out route there to move the chains and keep this drive moving. Nice play.
Deep drop from Christensen, going over the middle, threads the needle, 1st and 10 for the Kings. Catch made by Grayson Willis.
Yeah, Grayson, second catch of the day for this Willis brother, and it's a nice thrown ball, but Willis actually does a good job of hauling it in, knowing that, you know, hey, there's two big guys here. I'm going to get knocked around. He makes the catch and keeps the drive alive. That is a tough catch to make, you know, Jack, knowing that you're going to get walloped on the other end.
1st and 10 once more. Handoff to Jared Willis, and Willis, for the first time in what feels like an eternity, only gains 2 yards on the run. Zach Turner coming in from London last year on the tackle.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more of what I kind of expected coming into this game, was that the defensive front and the linebackers were going to corral Willis, especially up the middle. So that's a little more on par.
But they're going to hand it off to Willis again, and Willis, untouched for about 5 yards, going to make it a 3rd and 1 for the King.
See, and that's the battle that these two teams are trying to get going with the run game is, hey, you know, we might not score on every play. You know, we might have some plays that go for negative yards, but if we break off 1 or 2 big runs, it could be the difference in the game. So interesting here on 3rd and 1. Do you run it again against this D?
That's exactly what they're going to do, as Willis gets the call, gets the 1st down, and a few yards on top of that.
Yeah, it was an interesting formation to run out of with 2 tight ends off to the right. They end up taking the carry off to that left-hand side, and Houston had 6 in the box, and the 2 linebackers were off the ball, which meant it was tough to get downhill there with such short yardage necessary. Interesting play.
Going to be once again a handoff to Willis, and Willis loses yards on the run. Calvert Womack on the tackle, able to get the tackle for loss.
Yeah, rookie defensive lineman, the end there, coming around, big number 95, makes a good play there for Houston. They got to keep that up, and right now Jacksonville, Jack, is on the edge of field goal range here. They probably need 5-6 yards to feel comfortable.
Hand it off to Willis once again. They're going to get 4 of those 5 yards, making it a 3rd and 7. Ball on their own 33-yard line. At this point, the playbook opens up a little bit because you could go for a bit more of the aggressive play call, go downfield, since this is right at the edge of CC's range.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it, Jack, but it could be interesting to run the ball here and just settle for the field goal.
And no, they're going to go through the air, and they're going to get the 1st down. The throw to the sideline. Christensen going 7 for 12 so far, 93 yards. Ken Gossett on the reception. The man has been a machine when he's been able to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah, another good out route, and the only real reason that I thought a run might work is catching Houston off guard a little bit there on 3rd and 7. You know, you'd imagine the middle might be open in a situation like that, but the out route was good enough to pick up the 1st down.
Short drop from CC, once again going to go towards the outside of the field. Gains 6 yards on the throw, and once again, just another great catch by Ken Gossett.
Yeah, a little bit of a hook route there, was able to find some open space as the defenders were defending deep down the field, which is something Houston's going to have to do against these veteran receivers is, hey, don't let anything get behind you here, which opens up the underneath plays.
CC going to go over the middle again, and that's going to be 1st and goal. What a catch by the tight end, Jack Wall.
Yeah, Wall is just going to be happy that he held on to this football here in the red zone. Flashbacks of last drive, or 2 drives ago. I can't remember exactly how many. Ethan Kai coming downfield to make the play. He's been a little bit all over the field for Houston tonight, Jack. We haven't called his name much, but Kai doing big things in that secondary.
Yeah, Kai been with the Hyenas for a few seasons now, and he's always been a pretty effective safety covering the deep parts of the field. But they're going to throw that one down to the side. Touchdown, Jacksonville Kings. Once again, Ken Gossett getting his 1st receiving touchdown for the year.
Nice grab on the out route for Gossett. He's kind of making that his staple so far in this game is, finding the space in the flats, getting open, and then turning upfield to make the play. And he just has the speed and the wherewithal to outrun Kai Cash there on that outside, get into the end zone, and, increase this lead now to kind of that range that we talked about, Jack, where once you hit 3 scores, you got to, on the offensive side, if you're down 3 scores, you got to kind of get a little aggressive.
CC out to attempt the extra point. I find it funny how you almost called that one was going to go into the end zone the second that Ken Gossett touched the ball. Kick is up and it is through for an extra point. Jacksonville now up 21-0.
Yeah.
On the Hyenas.
That route there, Jack, it's just so hard to defend on the goal line and a quick out like that. What it does is it really sets up that slot receiver, if they're fast enough, to get outside quicker than the defender can get there, and you're almost guaranteed 5 or 6 yards each time. So when you're at the 4 or the 5, you really are just asking them to pick up an extra yard to get in the end zone, which is something every player is willing to try and get you.
So now E.T. King coming out down 21-0. It's not to say that, this Houston team hasn't been really trying. They certainly have put up some decent figures so far. It's just that they've been having some lapses so far this game, especially in terms of the run defense. And now that's what's put them in this 3-score hole.
Yeah, E.T. King has not had a bad game. 7 of 11 for 59 yards. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Throws out to Murray, and Murray's going to slide down a little bit, but is able to make up for it, gains 7 yards on the reception.
Yeah, it's a really good play. I mean, they're not pushing down the field, which I think is good because, look, there's a lot of game left. You don't want to overextend yourself and throw an interception. But what he is also doing there is giving one of his playmakers a touch on the ball in a positive light with the ability to pick up yardage. Look for a run here, bottom of the screen.
Offset eye, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Hand off to Murray. Murray gets the outside, picks up the block. He is going to the sideline. The touchdown saving tackle made by number 29, Alex Bond. He's also been a longtime veteran of the Jacksonville Kings and able to save the touchdown.
Yeah, and Jack, the only reason there that's not a touchdown is because they were running it from this near hash, not the far one. If the play before would have gone to the top side of the screen, that would have been 6. The angle was not there for Murray. The lane was perfect. Great blocking there from the offensive line.
So it's going to be a lot of receivers out to the top of your screen, 3 wide up to the top, and they're going to go with the short route, 2nd and 4, just really the perfect first down sort of play.
Yeah, nice out route, picks up 6. The one thing we haven't really talked about, Jack, is Houston's investment here in offensive linemen. They brought on James Richards to play at guard here, 2nd-round pick out of Salt Lake. And his block there is basically part of the reason that Murray was spraying.
E.T. King throwing over the middle, and E.T. King still showing that even when he's down by 3 scores, he can make those nice rhythm-timed throws to Leroy Brown and such. It's going to be a first down. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning here in Duval County. Jacksonville up on Houston 21-0. But don't go anywhere, folks. Houston is driving. 2 minutes to go and all 3 timeouts. First and 10 now, ball on the Jacksonville 35-yard line. Going to hand it off to Murray. And he just got stood up at the line. Not much that you can really say or do. Rain Rowe on the tackle.
Man, he got popped. I mean, that is 2 grown men meeting in the hole, and one of them saying, "Hey, look, I'm the tougher guy on this run right here." Murray has been walloped this game so far.
Moderate drop for E.T. King, and E.T. King goes for the short route. Warren Murray does a couple side steps, not going to gain anything.
Yeah, those are tough plays to make as a halfback. because you catch the ball and your back is to the defender. So sometimes there, Jack, you're trying to juke the guy preemptively, thinking that, you know, hey, if he's where I think he is, he's going to miss me if I do this.
Yeah, or sometimes turns into losing your shovel thrown deep. Whoa! What a grab! Leroy Brown! What a game he's been having for the Hyenas.
Man, lay out, young fella. Talk about a player that is willing to put his body on the line to move the sticks. That is an incredible play, and I'm sure Damon Simeon's going to pat him on the helmet.
Gonna throw it down to Warren Murray, and Murray able to turn what was looking like a 2 or 3 yard loss into, again, a no gain, no loss. Leroy Brown, been perfect, has not dropped a single pass this entire game so far.
6 grabs. I mean, that's a lot here for this first half. Let's see. I mean, Houston's got to punch this in, Jack.
Yeah, 37 seconds remaining. Ball in the 13. Kind of have to take an end zone shot or two now. Throws it down to Murray. Murray tries to cut upfield. Not going to go, and they're going to call their first time out of the half.
Big tackle there from Sprouse to slow down Murray. I mean, he's shifty, and when you put a back in space with the end zone in front of him, sometimes they do things that you're going to write home about, and that's going to make a highlight reel. So for Sprouse to make that tackle there on Murray, I think was huge. It sets up this big 3rd and 9. Be careful if you're king. Take care of the football.
But they're still got to go aggressive. Throws it deep towards the end zone, and that one was caught by DR Sim, the man who's been here for about, I think it's his 12th season in the league, showing he's still got it even after all those years.
I hate to sound cliche, Jack, but that's just what the doctor ordered. A first down here on the goal line. 4 downs now to try and punch this thing in with 28 seconds to go and 1 timeout.
And the first thing they're going to try and do is to throw to the flat out to Murray. They're going to lose a yard or two, but that might actually be to their benefit. Going to be able to reset the playbook, kind of open it up a little bit now that they have a few more yards to work with. Another short drop for E.T. King. It's going to be the same play once again. They're going to lose a few more yards. And after that, they're going to call their 3rd and final time out of the half. Only 10 seconds really remaining, and it's either you go safe and you just kick the field goal down, take it to the half, or you go aggressive and you got to score.
Yeah, I don't think either one is a wrong decision. I think down by 3 scores, kicking a field goal is going to cut into that lead a little bit. Houston got stuck there in a formation that really only had that screen in it. Whether the screen was the only pass play or whether it was the only play in the formation, what that then does, Jack, is it puts you in a situation where you're just running the screen consistently. And Murray was not really hitting stride on those throws. I think E.T. King was looking into the end zone to see if he could find a receiver. And what that then did was by the time he swung it out to Murray, Murray was having to go up against half of Jacksonville's defense. So, when you get in those situations, sometimes you're lucky to have a timeout in your back pocket and be able to kick the field goal. So if I'm Houston, I'm counting my blessings and I'm taking the 3 points and getting into the break.
But Jacksonville will be able to run one play before the half. Would be interesting to see if they're just going to hand it off to Willis and just take it into the half. Although, hey, considering how Willis has been performing so far this game, it could very easily just be a handoff to be run to the house.
Right. I mean, your handoff to Willis is basically your Hail Mary right here. So, if you're Houston, just make the tackle, man.
And now they're going to actually throw the ball, throwing short over the middle, but that's just going to take us to the half no matter what. Final play, a final catch made by Ken Gossett, having himself a pretty good first half with a touchdown and right around 50 yards receiving. Going to bring us to the end of the first half. The Kings are up on the Hyenas 21-3. And, as I said earlier, Andy, it's not the fact that Houston's been playing particularly poorly. It's just that there have been some moments where they've had lapses on the defense, especially when Jacksonville's been handing it off to Willis, and now they find themselves in this hole.
Yeah, both teams have, had their high points and had some low points today. I think both teams are playing pretty well for what you would expect in this type of game, except for I think Houston, has not gotten the production out of Warren Murray that they've wanted, right? 14 carries, 34 yards, which is only 2.4 yards per carry, the long of 20. If he can get cooking here in this second half, I think Houston will look a lot better. They'll put more points in the end zone. And for, their defense, they just got to get a couple more stops. Jacksonville has worked the ball down the field consistently and gotten some big runs out of Jared Willis. If you're Houston, you just got to tackle, which, sounds so simple, Jack, but it's really the key to all of it.
Yeah, and I mean, for Houston, they replay the massive hit. It's not really, the secondary has not been the issue, at least not as much as we thought it would. Rolger Law, in his SFL debut, already has 3 tackles on the day, and he's been electric. He also got that forced fumble and interception, showing that even for a rookie, these young rooks, they can really make an impact in the SFL.
Yeah, he's had a really good game. He has also did get bowled over by Willis on that run play. Was a little quiet in the second quarter, but for a cornerback, I mean, you can't expect him to make as many plays as he did in the first quarter. I mean, that's something that might go down all time as one of the best quarters for a single rookie in history. So, look, I think Jacksonville has kind of learned that, hey, we can't really test these rookie corners as much as maybe we thought we could. But with Willis running like he is, they don't have to test them as much. So if I'm Jacksonville, I keep the same game plan going in here to the second. If I'm Houston, I don't change much except for maybe be careful about how many times I give the ball to Warren Murray.
Yeah, because, I mean, right before the second half starts, E.T. King himself, he hasn't been performing that poorly for his first time suiting up in a Hyenas uniform. Over 100 yards passing off 19 attempts, 15 completions from that with a 91.9 QBR. He's been doing well, and he's going to get the ball to start this second half as kick is away, fielded in the end zone by Kyle Finnemore, and Finnemore's going to take it out to the 20 up to around the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hyenas.
Yeah, and that's, I think, where the field goal would have assisted or does assist you a little bit, Jack, is that, when you get the ball back, you're going to have the chance here to add more points. You almost get to double up in a sense. The touchdown would have been better, yes, but, hey, some points is better than no points in that situation. So they're in a good spot. They just got to keep, sustain a drive and try and get some points here.
Simple handoff to Warren Murray, and Warren Murray's going to gain 3 yards and a cloud of dust on that play.
It's a really poor spot. He definitely had 4 or 5 yards there, and they only gave him 3. I'm not sure how that even happened.
Look, I don't question these things, Andy. I just go off of what the refs say around here. 2nd and 7 now. 2 wide to the bottom with the man in the backfield. Off to the right for E.T. King. E.T. King going to take it, throws deep, and that's going to be caught running down the sidelines. Once again, another great throw by E.T. King, showing his veteran prowess, and the doctor, DR Sim, with a great grab.
Yeah, nice little corner route here in double coverage, able to out-jump the defender, and then a missed tackle is going to spring him here. Wow, what a catch there. I mean, take a picture of that and hang it in some type of Houston Hyenas museum. The doctor gets open and gets the flip of the field down to Jacksonville's 40.
All set eye now for the Hyenas. Deep drop for E.T. King, and E.T. King barely able to get the ball away. The pressure from the Jacksonville D-line was immense. Mike Baker nearly got his first tackle, or his first sack of the year.
Yeah, Clay Jones, the linebacker, coming in on the blitz there. The hard part about Jacksonville is they have that front 4 that's going to rush you, but if they're bringing linebackers too, Jack, they're bringing 5 star players. I mean, that's incredible. It's definitely going to make it a tough situation for this offensive line. Well, look out.
Handoff to Murray, and Murray showing a little bit of signs of Jared Willis there gains 7 yards on the run. 3rd and 3 now. Playbook opens up a lot more for the Hyenas.
Yeah, I don't mean to correct you there, Jack, but I think Jared Willis was showing signs of Warren Murray in the first half. Murray has been here a little bit longer than Willis. Let's not disrespect the man.
True, he would call me a young pup for how long he's been here. The throw to him, though, not going to work out. 4th and 3, and Houston's going to have to once again trot out the field goal unit.
Yeah, interesting here. Max Espresso coming on. We'll see if he can hit from here. It's a tough ask. No, excuse me. They are going to punt. I spoke too soon. They're sending on Brian Adams. Interesting, from the 33. It would be about a 50-yarder.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't really have as much faith in Max Espresso as they're going to go trying for the coffin corner, and it's not going to work out. Jacksonville sets up shop on the 11.
Yeah, I guess they decided that his name was more of a Max Express no, and they decided that they would go with Adams to punt it away down to the 11, so they've pinned Jacksonville back here a little bit, and their defense, who's fresh off of a halftime break, now gets to come out and try and pin down this Kings defense and force them into a punt.
Deep drop from CC. Throws it towards the sideline. That was going to be caught. Easy pitch and catch. Right in rhythm. Ken Gossett, the music man, catches it for 7 yards.
He's been working these out routes today, Jack. That's a really nice grab there on the outside to set them up for a more manageable second down. And that's tough for Houston to defend, right? Because you see all these big-time receivers. You're trying to defend the deep ball and not, let anything go, really. But, for them, it gives up some of these underneath plays.
Short drop from CC, and that route was broken up. Just coming flying in from nowhere. Kai Cash, he thought that they had the perfect open route, but no, Kai Cash came flying in and swatted that one down.
Yeah, Damon Simeon would have been doing his little dancey dance if Kai Cash would have been able to bring that one in, because it would have been 6, and that's money. And Houston would have broken right back into this game on one play, almost. I mean, we're inches away from a huge score there.
Hand off to Willis, and Willis, if he had shed that man about half a second earlier, he would have been gone for another touchdown.
Yeah, strong run from Willis. Very patient there. Little Le'Veon Bell-esque run, waited for the play to develop, broke off the tackles when he needed to, got the first down. Devastating for Houston there on the defensive side. Almost got off the field.
Another score update from our nation's capital. The Dragons have put up their first points since their re-entry to the SFL this season. A field goal. It's now 17-3 between the London Knights and the DC Dragons.
Yeah, interesting over there. Let's see if DC can get back in that football game. London seemingly ahead and in control, but the Dragons are never to be discounted. They could get back into it.
21-3 is the score here. Gonna be another throw taken up to the 31-yard line. 3rd and 3 now for the Jacksonville Kings, and with a lead like this, he can pretty much just pick any play in the playbook and run it.
Yeah, another interesting scenario where you could hand it to Willis, catch Houston off guard, pick up some big yardage when they're expecting you to throw, trying to pick up the third down yardage.
And they're going to take to the skies, thrown once again on the out route. Jacksonville has been making the out route work very well today.
Houston did their best, Jack, to jump that one, but, again, it's so tough to defend 4 yards there on that type of play.
First and 10, 2 wide at the top, 1 wide at the bottom, split back.
Picked!
Thrown, and that one's going to be picked off! He's got a blocker! What? That was a very curious throw by CC. A kind of throw that was extremely unlike him. A.J. Barnes with the pick.
What happened here? That's a 50x spot. Barnes jumps down into the flat, And, the timing just looked like it was off. I don't know if Christensen, took an extra step or what the deal was, but Christensen was not in rhythm there with the receiver. A.J. Barnes, the veteran, was in the right spot at the right time, made him pay for it. I don't know how Barnes didn't find his way to the end zone, but man, what a big play for Houston.
And if they can capitalize on it, this game is right back open. Handoff to Warren Murray, and Murray's going to gain 2 yards.
Man, nice play there up the middle. Murray, he's the odds are against him, Jack. He's running against a very tough front seven. They have 7 members in this front seven, 7-star players. So, really, you got to pick and choose where you attack and when you attack. So, for Murray, he's trying. There it is.
Yeah, and he's been trying. He's been doing pretty dang well. That run right there proves it. Going to take it up to the 22-yard line just outside the end zone of Jacksonville.
Nice run up the middle. Got broken off there a little bit into open space. The offensive line doing a nice job of carrying him down the field. The receivers blocking, tight ends as well. Moves the chains now to the 22 in scoring range. Could really use their first touchdown of the season here.
So far, Houston has not had the best luck in the red zone. 2 trips, but only a field goal to show for it. E.T. King taking a deep drop, throws it over the middle, had all day. And yeah, as you said, completely wide open is Leroy Brown. That is just play calling executed to perfection.
Wow, yeah. Look, Sim and him cross on that play, which can confuse that linebacker who's there and covered. The linebacker actually chose to come up and shade into the flat a little bit, and it opened up Leroy Brown there in the middle of the field. That's about as open as it gets in the SFL. It sets them up 1st and goal, though, from the 9.
Gonna be a handoff once again, 2nd and goal. Gain is about of a yard or 2. Warren Murray currently having 4.2 yards per carry, which against this stiff Jacksonville front 7, he's been doing very well as the tackle was made there by Clay Jones.
2nd and goal. They got to kind of throw here. They're too far away. It's a little deceiving when it says 2nd and goal. You think you can just run, but from 8 yards out, that's a tough ask for Murray.
Offset eye, but they're going to hand it off to Murray, and Murray gets met up right at the line. Massive hit on the line is going to bring up 3rd and goal from the Jacksonville 7. Alex Bond on the tackle.
Jack, that's what those of us in the business call being smacked in the mouth. And Alex Bond, I don't know what Warren Murray did to him or his family, but he made him pay for it there. Now 3rd and goal from the 7.
Going to be a nice snap for King, and King goes over the middle. No good. Going to be dropped. Going to bring up 4th down, and Houston's red zone woes continue.
Man, tried to hit the rookie Finnemore. Finnemore couldn't finna catch it. Seems like he's used to, being thrown at, maybe finna less. And it brings up a field goal attempt, which, Jack, isn't the end of the world, right? For Houston, obviously, any points are good points, but man, you just wish they would have been able to put it in there for their sake, because they have struggled, like you said today, in the red zone and on these drives.
Kick is up, and it's going to be through for 3. Yeah, that's been another part of why this game is, still as large of a lead as it is for Jacksonville. Houston's just not been able to really convert in the red zone like you would want them to. 2 field goals off 3 trips, and it's just not what you want to see.
Yeah, they've played a really solid game, right? They've taken care of the football. 17-23 is E.T. King, just the 1 pick for him. 7 catches for Brown, 21 attempts for Murray. They've played their football game. It just has not fallen their way when they're in the red zone. So, for them, there is a lot of game left, right? We're talking about 15 minutes worth of football left on the clock. So just be smart, continue to play your game. Just buckle down on defense, right? You're still good if you are Houston. You don't need to worry.
Yeah, buckle down and, just get that one big momentum swinging play, and that can change everything in a football game.
Yes.
1st and 10, Christensen going to throw, and that one was once again deflected. These Houston corners Kai Cash, once again, with the major deflection. You know, we were talking about before the game that may be a spot of liability for the Hyenas. They've come out and proven us so very wrong.
Yeah, Kai Cash, I mean, look, that was probably his second chance there to maybe take one to the house. Didn't have an interception last season, has had a couple opportunities here early in this game to try and make one. Couldn't get it done there. And if Houston does lose this game, they'll be looking at some of these plays scratching their head.
Gonna throw right deep over the middle. Christian Christensen currently gunning for the 30,000-yard milestone this season, and throws like that are what you want to have to cross a boundary like that.
Yeah, crossing route, the corner route might have been more open than the post, but he fits it in there for first down yardage to the 48. And if you're Houston, I mean, those are back-breaking plays, you know, but you have to reset quickly and just play down and distance here.
So it's 1st and 10, Jacksonville, shotgun, empty backfield. They're dangerous when they look like this, but Houston comes up with the more dangerous side, gets another pick on Christian Christensen, and once again, Houston, they have CC's number when they can get things done.
A.J. Barnes, huge play there. I mean, that's his second pick of the game, the free agent acquisition, and he is paying dividends for this Hyenas team, just continuing to give this offense opportunities with the ball. Jack, it's something that the Houston offense cannot undervalue here. They got to get more points.
Yeah, their defense so far this half has really done well for them, and they're going to throw that one out to the sideline. Caught, gonna not quite be able to turn upfield, but still 2nd and 2. That's a good play. Once again, it's 2nd and 2 here. After the catch by DR Sim. Handoff down to Murray. It's going to go right up in the middle. Gain of 1.
Yeah, interesting spot here with the way that Murray has kind of been running the ball. You'd like to think that he could pick up the yard, but you're just not certain of it, Jack. So interesting to see here what they decide to do.
So 3rd and 1, 3rd and short. It's always the best sort of plays to get this thing going. Playbook's pretty much wide open. Hand off to Murray once again, right up the middle, and Murray's going to get the first down and a few yards more on top of that.
Yeah, nice run from Murray there. Really, you know, cementing like, hey, I'm here. I know what I'm doing. You know, you can trust me in these short yardage situations.
So once again, it's first down and 10, 1 man in the backfield for the Hyenas. This is exactly the sort of thing that you want to see. Hand off to Murray, and Murray's got a lot of room to work with, but he's just going to be smacked down. Oh, my.
Huge hit. I mean, there's nothing more you can say than that, Jack. I mean, it was a big hit. It hurts. You know, it's only a 3-yard gain, so there's not much positive you can take from it. But, man, I mean, these guys don't like each other out here today.
Yeah, once he gets back to the sideline, that's going to be one of those ice pack sort of plays. They're going to throw to the flat, and once again, Jacksonville just eating up Warren Murray like he's their afternoon lunch.
Yeah, that A.J. Barnes interception moves him up to 23rd all-time in interceptions with 36 in his career. Let's see if they can continue this drive and make him pay for it. No, they can't.
No, that one was just a short throw, and it wasn't able to really work out. Can be 4th down and 8. Houston, again, the defense has done really well for them this half. It just seems to be that the offense can't really make up for it.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you have veterans like Barnes and DR Sim, you know, these guys who so desperately want these SFL championships under their belt, and you're struggling to pick up 7 yards or more than 3 on first down. I mean, those are the differences between some of the best teams in the league and some of the teams that struggle. So, you know, look, when you have turnovers converting them into points is huge. When you can't convert them into points, it makes it a very difficult road, Jack. And so for these Hyenas, they look, I mean, we just said it, a turnover would help them. Another one would help them even more right here.
45 seconds, probably enough time for another 2 or 3 plays here in this third quarter. CC throws it down, going to be caught 2nd and 4. Jacksonville already seeming to play the just drain the clock game.
Yeah, nice hit there on the outside. I believe that was Marco Swift who laid it, the other rookie cornerback. We haven't talked about him as much, but he's had a quiet game too. This Houston defense has done as much as they can here today.
As Jared Willis takes the ball, they're going to give him the first down on the very close spot, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter here in Jacksonville. Get your 4s up, folks. Get your 86s up. We're heading to the fourth quarter here in Jacksonville, 21-6. The Kings are in the lead. They're in control, but Houston is always a team of surprises. Don't go anywhere. This is the SFL on Twitch. First and 10 now for the Kings. Short drop by CC going over to the middle, and they're going to not give him the first down, 9-yard gain.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Jack, I didn't think that play at the end of the third quarter was a first down either. So, I don't know if it's considered payback here to not give him the first down on that play or, what the kind of call is. But Houston's got the rough end of a couple calls here in a row.
The refs, I guess, just know as Mike St. Green was the man on the reception for 9 yards. Handoff once again to Willis, and Willis has got so much room to run off of 1 yard. He gets about 5 or 6.
Yeah, really strong-armed defender there. Nice stiff arm here. This is exactly what you want out of your running back. And Iggy Swift leading the way. I mean, we cannot understate his value for this Jacksonville team. What an addition by the front office of the Jacksonville Kings. I mean, Jack, you could argue it's the difference between, this game.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't gotten many touches, but he has certainly made his presence known in terms of blocking. And really, when it comes to a fullback, even just blocking, it makes you a massive player on a team, as Jared Willis gains 4 yards on the run, going to bring up 2nd and 6. Ball on the 45-yard line. Jacksonville is driving.
Yeah, well, and so often, Jack, we talk about, these teams making decisions in the offseason based on the build of where they want their star players to perform at. And for Houston, they let their star fullback from last season walk, Stephen McMichaels. Jacksonville picked one up, and it's paid dividends here. Wow, what a pop. Was that Jack Wall on the hit?
I think so. I'm not exactly sure, if Jacksonville has been conditioned to think that the Hyenas owe them money or something, but they have been laying out the hits in this game.
Yeah, that was a tight end laying a hit on a defensive back who was trying to pick the ball off. I don't know if I've seen that before.
CC taking it out of the shotgun, threads the needle once again. 1st and 10 for this Kings offense that has just been running like a well-oiled machine this drive.
Yeah, it's just right when you think they're out of it, they find the perfect pass play to, move the chains. That one right there, they're working again on Rauger Law. Law has been targeted all day. It's really the battle that this Houston team, kind of knew they were going in to face, and they have won some of the battles and they've lost some of them.
And well, they got a free play here, and Jared Willis gonna make the most of it. Runs away from his man, and I was surprised that wasn't for another touchdown. I guess he was like, hey, I already got 2 big rushing touchdowns on the day. I'll let the defense have a little bit of slack.
I don't think he had a choice. A.J. Barnes ran him down. That was DK Metcalf and Budda Baker-esque there. I mean, when you look, I don't know, they won't show the replay because oh, no, they will. Watch, Barnes here is down in the middle of the play right there, and look at him track. I mean, that guy's got to be running 19, 20 miles an hour to get 10 yards down the field in the time that an SFL running back only gets 5 yards. I mean, that's a play that we're going to forget about here in 2 quarters, but that is a play that should be on the highlight reel.
Meanwhile, another score update from our nation's capital. DC is making it a game in their hometown. London is only up by 7 now after the Dragons have scored their first touchdown back in the SFL.
Wow, that is a game that I would not be missing. I know a lot of the people in the chat right now are players on this Jacksonville and Houston team, which is great. We obviously are super excited about players playing for their teams and cheering on their teams. But man, I would not want to miss a 7-point game.
Gonna throw out now to the flat, gonna gain about 2 or 3 yards. Once again, these two teams, this is how you know the two teams are rivals, is when even on like relatively minor plays like that, they're still laying out the hits on each other.
Yeah, Kai Cash walloped Willis there on the sideline. Brings up a huge 3rd and 3 here, Jack. Houston's got to buckle down and hold him to 3.
Once again, throwing out to the flat, and Houston is going to be able to do just that. They seem to have gotten Jacksonville kind of locked into the same formation, and, Grayson Willis, he's a great receiver, but he's not the sort of guy who could just plow through 2 defenders at once.
Man, if there is not a replay, I don't know if our studio team is I'm sure our studio team is watching, but that A.J. Barnes tackle deserves a game break with how huge it is for this game, because it essentially, Jack, held Jacksonville to 3 points, right? Because if A.J. Barnes does not make that tackle, then Jared Willis is in the end zone, and the game is essentially over. A.J. Barnes, with that tackle, essentially saved Houston's chances at winning this game. I can't understate how huge that was.
So now Houston keeping themselves in it. They're all hanging on by a thread here in Duval. And Jacksonville's going to kick it away. Fielded within the end zone by Kyle Finnemore. And Finnemore's going to take it out of the end zone, take it out to the side. Finnemore takes it up to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hyenas. Andy, we were talking a lot about how, even in situations like this, you still can kind of like relax a little bit. Now is the do or die time for this Houston offense.
Yeah, you need scores quick. You got to kind of go to the air game. It's not necessarily easy. I won't lie to you. But with a veteran quarterback like King, and never mind.
Well, Warren Murray, he was like, don't worry about the veteran quarterback there, Andy. I'll just take it myself, and I'll go run for like 15 yards.
Yeah, forget the pass game, right? I guess Warren Murray decided that now was his time to shine. Nice hurdle, gets into some open space, brought down, kind of strung up and then brought down, but it really starts this drive off on the right foot. The difficulty now that Houston will face is kind of the clock. It's running. And they're continuing to look like they're going to run the football, which, is fine when you have 2 quarters to go, but with 7 minutes left in the game, you got to be careful here.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking that since they have all 3 timeouts still, they can maybe do a little bit more play, a little bit more with the clock like that. They're going to lose a few yards on that run, and that is not what you want to see.
Yeah, so those 2 plays there basically took a minute off the clock. It was 7:07 when this drive started. We're already down, to 6:07. So 2 plays, a whole minute. Houston has to be more efficient than that.
And that is another one of those plays that can be thrown to the inefficiency pile. Handing off to Warren Murray a lot. They're hoping that they can get one of those Jared Willis style runs where they can just break it off, go get a touchdown, casually go get a touchdown.
Yeah, real casual like. No, yeah, we'll just score a touchdown. I wish it were that easy, man.
Well, hey, your team put up 45 last night, so clearly it must have been pretty dang easy for you, as Houston's going to go from the shotgun, empty backfield. They're going to throw. That one's going to be caught. That is the sort of plays that we were looking for out of this Houston team for the past few snaps.
Yeah, the old man is back. Greg Corky with a huge grab across the middle. We're used to seeing him make those type of plays. It's been a minute, though. Makes a nice grab there. Pop from behind. Man, what a catch and in a huge time moment. And Jack, I just got to say, for all the old heads in the chat, I never imagined that I would call a game where E.T. King just threw a first down to Greg Corky. So I'm just happy to be able to call that.
Yeah, Greg Corky, he played for Houston back in Season 8. His last time seeing the SFL field was back in Season 9 for the San Antonio Vaqueros, the team that he owned at the time, that is now the championship-winning Denver Nightwings. As that pass is thrown to Leroy Brown, caught for a first down. This is the sort of offensive play calling that we were wanting to see out of Houston.
Yeah, they got the weapons. I mean, this Houston team kind of feels like the Buccaneers, right? Where they got a veteran quarterback. They have some familiar faces that are back on the team, and then they got some new free agents.
And, well, if we're going to talk about some familiar faces going for the big things, that was a massive grab, taking him now down to within the red zone. E.T. King, short drop, throws it over to Murray, and Murray's going to take it up the field. Going to not really gain anything, but that was a great pair of plays. And if they can get it into the end zone, it'll make it just that much sweeter.
Yeah, and I don't think the I don't think the backups are in. I think these are the starters for Jacksonville.
They're going to throw to the end zone. That one's going to be caught. Touchdown, Houston Hyenas. E.T. King throws his first touchdown pass in the maroon and white.
Yeah, that play worked earlier for Houston down on this near side. I think it was the first quarter. It was a good throw from King, shaded it to the outside so only the receiver could come down with it. Houston, the Eagle, has landed in the end zone. The Hyenas have their first touchdown of season 16.
And also, just like that, this game is still in contention. The extra point pending. They'll only be down by 9. Kick is away. It is good. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go for the onside with this upcoming play.
Yeah, it's tough call because with 4:05, you have all 3 timeouts, but you do need the 2 possessions. So I think it's worth it. You know, if you hold them to a field goal, it's still 2 possessions. So in theory, the field position is not as bad to give up as the time on the clock. I like this call.
And that's what they're going to do. Short.
They got it!
It's going to be bobbled. They got the onside. This game isn't over, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Man, Max Espresso pops this one up in the air, and the player coming back to try and make the play puts a hand on it when he probably should not have. He was falling backwards. It wasn't really a good attempt there for Will Parker, the free safety. It bounces off him. It goes right into the hands of Houston, and they have life.
Yeah, you know, when you're in an onside, if you're not 100% sure you can get the ball, just don't touch it. And now E.T. King, he's got room to work with, and that was a risky throw.
Yeah, risky to say the least. Keenan Samuels, the rookie first-round pick, tried to prove to Jacksonville that he could be the man in the moment and take that one away. Couldn't quite get his hands on it. Houston's got to find the end zone on this drive, Jack. I mean, they could settle for 3, but man, that's a tough ask.
Yeah, especially when you're still down by 2 possessions and you can't rely on the luck of an onside kick multiple times in a row. Throws deep to the corner. That was going to be picked off. Right when Houston had a few signs of life, they throw it away, basically. Pick was made by Sako Lahamo. The safety just went up, grabbed it from the sky.
Yeah, read the route well, and Lamano got underneath it and was able to make the play on E.T. King. Not something we've seen him do too many times today is a risky pass, but tried to push it down the field to the doctor one too many times.
And they're going to and Jacksonville's going to get a free play off of that. Going to be now about 1st and 5 for them. Meanwhile, another score update from out in our nation's capital in the dying moments of the game. London is up 20-10 over the Dragons, but the Dragons are driving down the field with less than 90 seconds to go and a timeout in hand.
Wow, yeah, interesting there. big stuff for the SFL. The hardest part about week 1, Jack, is that A, you don't know what you're getting, but B, everyone has the exact same opportunity, right? Everyone starts at 0-0, trying to see their championship dreams through, and these early games can make the biggest difference. Going 1-0 feels a lot different, more different than being 0-1.
Couldn't agree with you more, as Jared Wells is going to take the handoff. They're going to give him the first down, and now the final nails are probably being laid into Houston's coffin right now after that first down pickup.
Yeah, I thought he was short. If I'm Houston with my 3 timeouts, I might challenge that. It's outside of field goal range. The first down gets them really close to field goal range. They can stall out here and still kick a field goal. But again, as long as you don't give up a touchdown, you're still in this football game.
Yeah, there's still 3:18 remaining. And hey, as we know in the SFL, anything is possible. Handoff now to Jared Willis once again. Jared Willis gains 5 yards. Jacksonville right now just playing to run out the clock, but Houston, they got to know that those sorts of 5-yard runs are not going to be excusable in times like this. You got to play a bit more aggressive up on the front 7.
Yeah, that is something that Houston has to do here. And like I said, they're still in it as long as they hold Jacksonville to a field goal here. Jacksonville not in field goal range. If Houston can get 2 stops in a row here and force a punt, this game is still available to be had.
Short drop by Christian Christensen, thrown out on the flat, and he's going to get laid out. Going to bring up 3rd and 2, and for Houston, those 2 yards are going to be the most precious things to defend, basically, of the entire game.
Yeah, Gulch wobbled Willis, and in this situation, Jack, you got to be careful. Tell your defense not to jump off sides, right? They did that earlier in the game on 3rd and short. They jumped. They gave Jacksonville a free play. You can't do that here with the game on the line.
And with that, that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Jacksonville could be 2 yards from victory here in Duval, and Houston's looking to not let them up that easily. It's going to be 2 yards for it all, while they still have, 3 timeouts at hand. Handoff to Willis, and Willis is going to get that first down. He's going to get a few yards more on top of that. Now Houston is going to start calling those timeouts, and Jacksonville really got to keep running out the clock, and they'll have this game in hand.
Yeah, 1 first down will do it. And even without it, they might have this game in hand. Jacksonville played a really solid game. It was really Jared Willis who carried this team. The defense had a couple turnovers, which was big. But, look, hats off to Jacksonville. They did what they had to do. They came into this game strong, and they proved that they are a good team still.
Now with less than 2 minutes to go, going to throw it out to the flat. Kind of an interesting play call, to say the least. Trying to go out to the sidelines, but Houston's not able to tackle them out of bounds, so they're going to have to call another timeout.
Yeah, in a way there, Jack, Jacksonville is lucky that play did not go out of bounds technically. I think he was really close, and they probably could have marked him out. They did not. Had they have, and it would have saved a timeout for Houston.
Handoff once again to Jared Willis, and Willis is going to gain about 5 yards. That's going to be the final timeout called by Houston. Jacksonville still has to run a play, and they still have to get the first down, but because they just don't have enough plays left in order just to round the clock. But again, a first down, that'll do it.
Yeah, 3rd and 5. I mean, this is the game. If you can't stop them here, the game is over. If you can stop them here, you have a chance, but it doesn't necessarily secure you a win. So you got to get it going right here.
Especially considering the fact that Jacksonville is in field goal range. Handoff to Willis. They're going to get the stop. And, this game isn't quite over yet. Minute 40 remaining. If they can get the field goal block here, now it'll take several miracles, but they can do it.
Well, they don't need the block, Jack, and I'll tell you why. Because the field goal here makes it a 14-point game, and the 14 points is still 2 scores, right? So in reality, if I'm doing my math right, which I might not be, but the 14-point game is not technically out of reach for Houston. Is it tough? Yes, but this block, whether this field goal goes in or not, does not have a huge weight on whether Houston has a chance.
And we'd like to welcome everyone tuning in from FTF, where the London Knights have just beat the DC Dragons 20-10 in a very close matchup, while welcoming back in the DC Dragons to the SFL. Here in Duval, Jacksonville is up 27-13 on top of the Houston Hyenas in a game that has been very close, but the main difference maker for Duval has been Jared Willis breaking out 2 major touchdown runs that has basically given them the win here today. If they didn't have those 2 touchdown runs, this game would be tied up at 13.
Yeah, Willis has been a monster for this Jacksonville team. Really, one of the strongest differences in this game has been Jared Willis. And now Houston is going to have to sling the ball. They have the weapons. They have a lot of good playmakers. Greg Corky, Leroy Brown, DR Sim. E.T. King is a veteran quarterback. Let's see what they got up their sleeve.
Yeah, they got to start slinging it and slinging it deep because they don't even have really timeouts on their side. They called them all on the last drive. But now Houston. First play, E.T. King, short drop. E.T. King throws over the middle and it bobbles up, down and all around. Gonna fall to the ground. Incomplete. A very risky throw to go with on your very first play of was basically, for the game.
Yeah, look, I don't think we have to explain to anyone that an interception ends this football game. E.T. King knows it. Jacksonville knows it. We know it. Everyone at home knows it. So, the pressure is ratcheted about as high as it'll go right now for Houston's offense.
2nd and 10. King takes the shotgun snap, pumps, goes downfield, throws it to the middle. A very interesting sort of move, but I guess it moves the chains. 1st and 10 now for the Hyenas. He's got to run back up, and he's going to spike it.
Yeah, nice play across the middle. It sets him up here at the 32. You have to score on this play or the next one to have a chance here, Jack. With just as much time as left, to get 2 scores in 43 seconds would be impressive. To do it in under 15 or 20 seconds is nearly impossible.
Well, as a wise man once said, never tell me the odds. And that's what that's what ET's probably screaming to everyone here in Duval right now. 2nd and 10. Got a man in the backfield, probably just there to block. That's exactly what they're going to do. Going to throw it short over the middle, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Clock is still ticking. It's not on their side for the Hyenas. Short drop once again for E.T. King going over the middle. That one's going to be caught. First down, but they don't really have enough time on the clock to really win this game.
Yeah,
It's going to be another spike.
Really on every on every play here, Jack, you got to throw to your deepest receiver. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they're running. Whatever route it is, you have to give them a chance. With this much time left, you don't have a real opportunity to pick and choose, and with that penalty, it just puts them even deeper in the hole here.
Yeah, even though Houston has the ball, this game may as well be out of reach for them at this point. Just a few ticks of the clock remaining. It's not that Houston's been performing bad at all. It's just there was some lapses in the defense during the first half that allowed Jared Willis to get those major touchdowns that have been the difference and will give Jacksonville the win here today. Thrown over the middle. That's going to be caught. 2nd and 7 now. They have about time for maybe one more play. They're going to spike it here. And I guess here they're going to put on one final play, one big Hail Mary as a show for the fan.
Yeah, Jack, I think both these teams played well today. I think it was a good showing for both of them. I think Houston has some holes that they know they have to fix. Damon Simeon is a great coach. He knows, what he needs to improve on. And I think for Jacksonville, it was a really good showing of both pass and run. I think both teams will not necessarily both be happy with the result, but both of them will look forward to the next opportunity.
Final sling down the field, and E.T. King nearly goes down the final play of the game. But the Jacksonville Kings continue their winning ways over the Houston Hyenas, now taking a 7-4 series lead in the 11th meeting between the Kings and the Hyenas. Really the tail of the tape here, Andy. The rushing yards, 251 for Jacksonville, just compared to just 103 for Houston.
Yeah, Warren Murray never really got going for this Houston team how they wanted him to get going. You know, he didn't have a terrible game by any regard, but was it the game that we're used to seeing out of Warren Murray in the timing that Houston needs to win a big one? No, not necessarily. So, you know, I think for Houston, they can go back knowing, you know, what they need to improve. And for Jacksonville, look, a good win over a quality SFL team, you know, a big one for both of them. A 14-point win is nothing to sneeze at. I think these two teams, you know, are going to be solid contenders this season, especially once Warren Murray gets moving, which we know he will.
Yeah, Warren Murray, you know, he even showed a couple glimpses throughout the game of the season that he had last year. And it's not to say that he's had a bad game at all, just wasn't able to get going. Jared Willis, though, this man, especially in the first half, was borderline unstoppable.
Yeah, he looked like a man on fire. I mean, he really was running, you know, almost possessed. Didn't do much, didn't do as much in the second half, I should say. Still had a good second half, but not the monster numbers we saw in the first half. I think if I had to pick a player of the game, Jack, I think you got to give it to either him or E.T. King. You know, maybe Alex Bond on the back end had a pick. But really, you know, I think it's Jared Willis's player of the game to lose.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more there, Andy. But again, E.T. King, you know, in his first game on a new team, you know, he had to adjust to a new scheme, especially for a team like Houston, which, you know, had a franchise guy for about 4 or 5 seasons. He did very well for himself in his first outing as a Houston Hyena. Just under 250 yards of passing, a touchdown. Sure, he had an interception, but he only had one, while CC had 3.
Yeah, two
player of the game.
Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, the player of the game honors, of course, going to Jared Willis. Who else could it have really gone to?
Yeah, no, he earned it, that's for sure.
Yeah, but from all of us here, I'm Jack Brown alongside Andy Hamilton, Alan Armatis, and Johnny Bravo in the Stats Truck. We say thank you for tuning in for today's action here in Duval County. Now we'll send it back to SFL Studios with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.